This is Rugby Merlin and welcome back to the channel. So here we have it, the summer series has arrived. This weekend there's a bunch of matches, all excellent, and I think the reason why they are excellent is that they're so evenly matched, or at least the best we could hope for really in the summer series. Yeah, let's get into it. So the granddaddy of them all I think is South Africa hosting Ireland for 2 tests. That is just a huge game, and the anticipation was building even before the Six Nations started, which is crazy really. Ireland had the entire Six Nations to play, but I think everyone's mind was on this test series. It's only 2 tests, and then Portugal I think at the end, so great for Portugal, but it's going to be possibly inconclusive. But the reason why I say inconclusive is because South Africa's last major loss was against Ireland in the World Cup that they won. You know, it's crazy. You can't get more crazy than that, you know. Ireland, that fantastic game in the pool stages where, it was kind of a low-scoring match. I think it was 13-8, don't quote me, but it was so intense. And I think a lot of rugby fans, particularly the purists, really enjoyed that match and hoping for more of the same. Now there is a bit of beef between Ireland and South Africa, and Rassie is no stranger to it, and I think he loves a bit of it. He loves to spice it up. The doctor had in a bit of spice, and this week, recently I saw the story that he, over the weekend, he had a bit of free time obviously, and he started to pick the Irish side and announced it to the media. So the guy is promoting this epic confrontation even more so than it was before, and he's such a legend. But I think Farrell will use that for the boys, and I think Rassie wants him to. You know what I mean? He wants a good test. They had a good outing against Wales. Performed pretty well, but it'll be a different animal now this week on their own home turf, and with all the players back, they're going to be a force to be reckoned with, and Ireland with a few players down, it's going to be a monumental task for them. You can't help thinking though about Ireland's tour to New Zealand. That was a uphill battle at the time. People in hindsight, tend to think of it as like an easy win, but it was a huge victory. So Ireland have everything to play for, really. I mean, even if they go down 2 tests and nothing, it will be really disappointing, but they're in a rebuilding phase anyway, and they have the opportunity to take on the defending world champs when they haven't really had the chance to have any game time together. They've had these orientation meetings, which I'm sure Rassie's made good use of, and they had that test against Wales. But Ireland have had a lot more rugby together than South Africa have, and this is a perfect time to take them out. Whether they will or not, I'll leave that for the predictions video, but it's going to be an epic test series. So a great way to kick off the series, I think, and the biggest game by far. Next you have New Zealand hosting England. Now England are going down there. They had an absolutely horrendous start to the Six Nations this year after getting to the semis and almost turning over South Africa in the torrential rain. But they did come good, I thought. If you watch my reviews, I thought they played very well against France and Ireland, obviously, where they won. But they're no slouches. They had a pretty good team, and that's what I like about this summer series is that the teams are evenly matched. Borthwick is a very new international coach, head coach, but then Razor, who has had tremendous success with the Crusaders, he is, I love him. He's such a character and has a great rugby philosophy, I think. But it's going to take a while to introduce that to the New Zealand team, the All Blacks team, and it's a little bit different, his way of thinking from what I've heard, watching interviews, etc., to what they've been used to. and might take a little bit of time. And again, it's their first game since the World Cup final as the All Blacks. So such an interesting dynamic there. The two new coaches going up against each other, a lot of new players, particularly for the New Zealand side. So another absolutely fantastic series. And finally, we have kind of the not the B teams, but we have Wales going down to Australia. Now, this is just as interesting because you have two very young, inexperienced sides who are obviously on a rebuilding path. And you have Gatland, who has like a ton of experience, and then Joe Schmidt, the New Zealander who's taken charge of Australia, trying to rebuild their kind of rugby culture. And I think so far the noise I've been hearing from the Australian camp is pretty good. And they had a half decent Super Rugby season as well, the Australian side. Considering they've been pretty dire over the last couple of years, they did pretty well, and there are a few good young players coming through. So Wales haven't settled on a side. I think Gatland has overused the rebuilding card, and Wales, the Welsh public are definitely expecting some results down there. Whether they can get them or not, I'm not sure. But Schmidt is a formidable coach. I mean, he's a hard taskmaster, but I think he has mellowed a little bit, and I think he understands the role that he's been hired to do down in Australia, and he's going to try his best to bring through these young players and re-establish kind of Australia as a rugby force. I think I think he has the edge on Gatland, really. Just his intellect around the game. When the All Blacks was suffering last year before the World Cup, who did they turn to? Him, you know, because they know he's such a reliable guy. He's such analytical guy, and he can really, I think, lift your team up a couple of levels. So Wales going to have a very tough task going down to Australia, I think. But yeah, they have a bit of talent in the side. A few players very unlucky with injuries. Our boy Jack missing out, but yeah, it's very evenly balanced, and I think they're all going to be really competitive games. I'm not going to go into the predictions for the tests yet. I'll save that for another video, but I'm just very excited about this upcoming summer series and Summer Slam. That's why we've entitled the video, and I think there's a bit of beef between all the coaches, really, you know, people trying to steal others' limelight and, you know, etc. But yeah, really looking forward to it. So drop a comment, let me know what you think, and check out the next video. All right, thank you.